Hey, caregiver. This is the place where faith meets caregiving and caregivers. Find strength to keep going, keep pushing, keep loving, and keep caring.
Hey, caregiver family, how are you all doing tonight? We are all the way live once more and again on the My Favorite Girl Caregivers Corner podcast. I am your host, Priscilla Jean Louis, and as always, I am grateful to you for joining this evening for another live podcast. Do me a favor as you are coming in, go ahead and put in the chat and let me know where it is you are watching from. And then do me a favor, if you don't mind, and go ahead and share it with those on your platform. Go ahead and like, share, subscribe. If you're looking at us on YouTube, you can go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you are on Facebook, go ahead, like and follow the channel as well. We're going to give you just a few moments to do that as we go ahead and just do a brief introduction here. So do me a favor, again, go ahead, say hello and let us know where you are tuning in from. Let us know where you're tuning in. I want to say hello to you. I want to say hello. So let me know when you get on and we'll do just that. All right. And remember, you can also listen to the podcast on your favorite digital platform. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeart Radio, YouTube, and after the podcast, you can also catch this on my website at www.priscillajjohnlouis.com. That's Priscilla J. You got to put the J in there to get to it. All right. So listen, I'm going to go ahead. I know people are logging in, but we want to go ahead and get started with our conversation for tonight. And so what happens when love, marriage, and caregiving and a whole lot of laughter collide under one roof? Tonight, my guest is inviting us into her home where two mothers are being cared for, a marriage is being strengthened, and laughter has become the lifeline. But before we meet our caregiver, you're going to meet someone else who might just tell us the truth the way only she can. Y'all do me a favor right now. I'm going to bring her to the forefront here. I'm going to bring on Miss Etta Mae Monfries. How you doing, Miss Etta Mae?
Oh, are we on live? Oh, I got to go.
We are on live.
Okay, I'll call you back. I'm on the YouTubes and join in. Okay, I'm doing the thing. What you call it? Pod peoples. I don't know. They're not aliens. She's very pretty and very smart. She's not a pod person. She has a podcast. Yeah, I'll call you back. Tune in on Facebook and YouTube. I'll talk to you later. Okay. That's my prayer team. They just call me all day long. How you doing, Priscilla Jean Louis?
I am doing good, Miss Etta Mae. How are you today?
I'm so happy. If I am happy and I know it, I'm clapping my hands. It's a good day. I'm feeling blessed and highly favored. And I got some pork chops on the stove, and they are blessed and highly flavored. So after this, I'm ready to chow down.
All right, now. I wish I had some of those down here in Florida.
Oh, yes. Well, y'all got that good grouper and all that good seafood that y'all can keep going on. So
that is true. That is true. Listen, go ahead and do me a favor. Introduce yourself to the people like only you can.
Oh, okay. Well, let me see. I'm Etta Mae Monfries, and they call me the Black Forrest Gump because I know a little bit about everybody. I got a lot of famous friends. If you on the into YouTube, I'm on what you call Wikipedia. I've been on that. It's all true because I put it on there myself, so you better believe it. And what else? I'm just everybody's favorite church mother. In fact, I've been going to church all my life, so I just know the Lord. I'm blessed. I'm just blessed. Anytime I'm on this side of the ground, is a good day. I'm still clothed and in my right mind. So as long as I get my Nova and my Metamucil and my Geritol chaser, I'm gonna be all right. Did I tell you? I've been in a few motion pictures. I'm out here in California. Did you tell him that? I'm
I
out
didn't
here.
tell them.
Oh, I'm in California here, but I'll come anywhere as long as you give me a bus pass and a place to sit. But anyway, I'm out here. I've been in. Let me tell you, I've been in a few movies and things. I was in. Y'all saw that movie Straight Out of Compton with about the little boys and the music group and rapping and all that.
Yeah.
That was a good movie. I was well. Well, I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't in that one, but they are gonna film a sequel pretty soon. It's a cliffhanger. It's called Straight Out of Kaiser Hospital. Don't know how you're gonna come out, but I like to tell stories. I like to tell a lot about history. Priscilla, I know history about all the folks the particularly the black Negro colored Afro, what we call ourselves today. I'm just losing track. And, back in my day, I thought in the new millennium we was gonna call ourselves the mahogany people of the sun or something like that. But anyway, I like all history. We all God's children, black, white, everything in between. So I know a lot of history, and I just like to go and have a good time, shake my tambourine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, shine, shine.
I absolutely love that. Thank you so much for joining us all the way from California. I thought you were going to tell us you were in that movie Straight Out of Compton, but not Straight Out of Compton, straight out of, I'm sorry.
I can't lie to you, sweetheart.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Which movie did you say you were in? Straight Out of what?
Straight Out of Kaiser. It's
Straight Out of Kaiser.
They gave me a walker. They gave me, I'm just a patient in the background. But you don't know how you're gonna come out. But I have faith. I'm walking on faith, and hopefully they'll be filming that one pretty soon.
Hey, I'll be looking forward to it. I'll be one of the first ones to get a ticket to go see that motion picture. Hey, Cheryl Ann, she is tuning in from Tampa, Florida. So good to see you on tonight, my friend. Hey, all right, Cheryl. And so as we get into this conversation tonight, our conversation is talking about laughter in the living room, marriage, caregiving, and finding joy under one roof. I'm sorry. So Etta Mae, I want to know, honestly, who really runs that house over there with you? Is it you, Karen, or the mamas? And we haven't really talked about the mamas yet, but I know you're going to give me the real story. Who runs the house over there?
Well, there's a song, that one, what's her name? Bonse, she married James E. Then they got the little daughter now. What's her name? Red Vine. What's her name? Red Vine.
Blue Ivy.
Oh, Blue Ivy. I knew it was a color in some of that grove. But that family, I pray for them. But Bonse has a song they say, "Who run the world? Who run the world?" And not that I listen to all that kind of music, but I heard about it. But I tell the ladies, because sometimes I gotta get them together, and we have the stay-at-home choir. We've been staying at home for a while, and I have to let them know. Diana Ross had the Supremes. Michael Jackson, you saw the movie. There was a Jackson 5, but he was on top. And then I tell him, it's like we's Destiny Child. I got to be the Bonse, and they can be Kelly and the other one, Michelle, and we can all move together, but they got to be a Bonse in the house. So I would say I kind of try to keep everybody in line. Like, for example, I try to get these ladies, there's Rose and Dorothy, that are in the house with me. They're two seniors. Rose is 86 and Dorothy's 90. And
wow.
That's right. I got some age on all of them. We call them the stay-at-home choir because we started stay at home. But they're like the Golden Girls, and we don't have what's the other one?
Blanche.
Blanche and the other one. But they're Rose and Dorothy, and so we the Golden Girls. And I try to tell them, it's like y'all got to listen to me. Like I try to get them to go to the senior center. They both, we all single ladies. We single ladies. I showed that to Bonse too. I said, "Oh, single lady." And she just did that, and she just ran with it. What? She do all that. But anyway, I try to tell Rose and Dorothy, I said, we got to get out the house. We got to stay young, if we want to meet somebody. And I tell them, because I don't know if you know this about me, Miss Priscilla, but I've been single all my life.
Oh my.
That's right. I got a ring on every finger but the right one. But I tell folks is I've been waiting to exhale so long. I just call it asthma. But I try to tell them it's like we got to get the access van, the shuttle bus, and get over to the senior center. We might find a nut just like Boaz met Ruth. You
Yeah.
know, you never know from whence your help may come. And the good Lord will hook you up. Even her what is it? Her mother-in-law hooked her up. Am I right? Am I telling you
Yep.
right? So
Yeah.
I tell them that story. It's like we can't be stuck up in the house. We got to go and maybe find Boaz at the senior center, or maybe down. We go work out a little bit, so we can say read petite. And so they listen to me most of the time.
Okay. So we can be clear on you running the house over there.
Well, I try to stay humble, and I try, I'm not going to say I'm the big boss. Karen and Kim, and they got a dog named Jackie Brown. They all do what everybody got a part. It's like an engine
Okay.
to keep it rolling. But somebody's, got to be the head and not the tail. So I just tell the ladies, you iron sharpens iron. Isn't
That's
that in the
right.
Bible? That's right. So I try to tell them it's like we got to stay on top. All three of us. We're the stay-at-home choir. We've been staying at home since the pandemonium Panta Express. What happened when they shut everything? Pandemonium.
Pandemic.
Oh, yeah, you smart. I knew you knew what I'm talking. The pandemic. So we stuck in the house, and I started. I don't know if you saw the video. We the stay-at-home choir. I have to play the piano. I have to make them start from the tip of the top. I have to make sure they stay on tune. And I can't fire anybody because they're in the house. I can't. I need all the voices I can get, but I have to keep them in line and keep their mind sharp. The more you do, you gotta keep it going. Use it or you lose it. That's what I tell these ladies.
That's right. I was trying to see, can I find the video so I can show them the stay at home choir right quick. Let me see, can I pull them up real quick for you all so y'all can get a glimpse of the stay at home choir. Let's see here. I should have pulled this up before, but
Oh,
I just thought about it. So let me
you
see,
got
can
all.
we
Oh, look at
get
that.
them on?
Yeah, we have lots of clips on the TikTok and the YouTubes and the Instacart everywhere. We're on there.
On the
But I have
Instagram.
to. Oh, that's right.
Let's see.
Instagram.
Uh, Can y'all see that?
I
No?
don't see it. Not
Okay, let
yet.
me see. All right. I thought it shared it. Hold on. I might have to hold on a second here. It didn't. There we
Oh,
go.
look at us. There we
There
go.
you, there you go. The stay at home choir. I just want to show y'all a little bit of stay at home choir. Let me
Mm-hmm.
see if I can get.
See how?
Don't look like my sound. I should have did that part. I didn't think about it before, but y'all can kind of see without hearing them. I can't share the sound right now, but that's stay at home choir that she's
Yeah.
talking about, y'all. That is Miss Rose and what's my other beautiful lady's name?
Dorothy. We call her Dot. Dorothy.
There it is.
Yeah.
She's 90.
She turned 90 on Christmas Eve, and she
Oh
is
my
a.
God.
That's right. She can sing. She used to sing their family. They had a family of girls called the Green Girls. So every now and then, if you listen to our video real close, she'll get that soprano. She can hit those notes almost good as I can. So
Okay.
I try to get her to sing, and Rose will shake a tambourine. And you see how I'm in the middle, like Bonse. But that was my summer hat I had on. This is my springtime Mother's Day.
Yeah, that's right. Because it's almost Mother's Day. Mother's Day is coming up.
Yeah, I give you your flowers. These are for you. You can see them from a distance.
Thank you so
They're not.
much. I appreciate that.
Yes, bless you on
I
Mother's Day. You're a beautiful
definitely
mother, and
appreciate
I'm so proud of you and your girls, the older and the younger. Miss Kaylin just knocking it out the box, all those awards and getting her diploma. Y'all just well done.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yep, baby girl graduated last Saturday, so we are definitely proud of all of the accomplishments. And she's
Yeah,
been my right hand with this here caregiving journey. So we'll talk about that though at a later point. And so when it comes down to just a typical day, I know you all You have your choir that you do, choir rehearsal. So what does a typical day look like in your house? What's from your perspective, what's a typical day, Miss Etta May?
Well, I'm an early riser because the early riser gets the worm. I can't sleep on me. So I get up early, early, early. I check in I drink some water. This is my new trick because I don't want, you got to keep it, what they call it, juice loose and everything. So I got to keep it. There's something they say about your joints and keeping them. Yeah, I do that, because I got to work it out and push it up for the Lord and all this, get my steps in and just everything I can do. But I get started. I write in my journal. I just write things for the good Lord. I tell the good Lord what I want, what I don't want, what I need, what I'm thankful for. I write it all down. Even with my friend Arthur Writers here, I still can write it down. I got a pen and a pen, and I do that, and then I go in and check on the ladies because they snooze. You know how it is. Sometimes they're awake and looking at the ceiling. Sometimes they're rare to go. But I turn on. We like to watch all the things. TV is good. We like to watch. Um, um, what did they say? Worm got eaten by the
That's what you
bird.
said. That's what you said.
I look at.
That was my dad's favorite saying, but I used to tell him the early worm got eaten by the bird.
That's right. Watch out for them birds. But I catch a worm when I can. But I get up and then we eat something good. I turn on. We like to watch all the funny shows. Like we might watch Martin or Sister or Lucy Ball comes on. Lucy, it's funny. That comes on.
That was one of my favorite shows. I love Lucille Ball.
We love Lucy, and today she was trying to bake some bread, and the bread went all the way across the kitchen. Anyway, we watch some to make us laugh because laughter is medicine, and if it's not coming from me, we can get it off the TV. Sometimes, they have Tyler Perry movies on all day long, and we watch them all back to back, or we watch In the Heat of the Night. That was a steamy show. That was a good one. Yeah, and then we watch the news sometimes, but if it's too depressing, we shut it off. Just turn it off. But we do that. That's right. Yeah, that's right. You want to keep your mind in a higher place. So we do that. We get ourselves cleaned up, which is a job, but somebody's got to do it. And then what else? Oh, we eat good food. We eat some fruit, some cottage cheese, maybe a little pastry or a little granola bar or something like that. Or maybe we get fancy. We might eat an egg in a hole, some scrambled eggs. Not too much bacon, but little bacon never hurt anybody. Am I right? And what else? We just enjoy, and then we take a little after mid-morning snooze, maybe. Sometimes we go get our nails done. All of these nails we got to because like I said, we're all young, and it's like you never know when your person might Karen. That's right, your Boaz, because Karen was not even looking, and her dreamboat came sailing down the river. So I tell these ladies, we got to keep looking up, and keep hope alive. Jesse Jackson said that. I said that first, but he just took that and ran with it. But anyway, and the rest is history. But that's my catchphrase right there, because there's so many people, a lot of things I tried to pick. Kirk Franklin, I told him, you better write a song. We like to we love Kirk Franklin. We listen to music, but he was writing a song, and he said, I'm going to write this song, Eddie Mae. I want to step for the Lord, just step for the Lord. And I said, no, Kirk Franklin, God has been so good to you. You better hit it harder than that. You better stomp. And Kirk Franklin wrote that song, Stomp. And he never looked back, and the rest is history.
The rest is history. You took your song.
Yes, but we listen to music. Sometimes we turn on all this gospel all day long, just praising the Lord. It never gets old. I got a whole set of tambourines. We got matching for every outfit. And then what else? Oh, sometimes we watch just YouTube, funny little babies laughing, America's laughing videos, whatever that's called. We just keep the spirits up. Keep the vibration in the household as high as we can. Don't nobody want to be doom and gloom and getting old and crusty. Ken, Karen's husband, they go out and sometimes they just jump in the car and turn on the radio to the Smokey Robinson.
Okay.
but turn on his music. And Dorothy, oh, she loves it. She claps her hands. And Rose, sometimes she's asleep, sometimes she's awake. And we just drive around for hours, just looking at the flowers, looking at the birds, go down to the beach. And then by that time, it's time to just get some rest.
Relax to go to
That's
bed. Yeah. How close are you to the beach?
it's a bit of a drive now. If there's no traffic in Los Angeles here, we can get there probably about 35, 40 minutes, but it's pretty. It's a nice view, and
I'm
we
sure.
go
Yeah.
early so we can miss the traffic. And again, the birds are out, so we dodge the birds and always see people. I don't know, whenever I see people running around, they see this hat, they just want to say hi to me. So that's why we got a lot of videos. We make videos down there sometime. I used to live down there, so that was a blessing there. But I never met my beach boy, beach baby. Didn't meet one, but I did some surfing, and I keep hope alive.
All right. Okay. Well, what do the mamas think about you? Do they enjoy your presence? They enjoy laughing with you, or sometimes they just like, we don't want to do the choir today.
Well, now, Priscilla, now these ladies, when they got the dimensions, and all times, what you call it, they're not clothed
Yeah.
in your right mind every day. So they can have their moments. And so sometimes I go in there just smiling and ready to go, got my keyboard out, and they don't have nothing to say to me. And I say, well, excuse me for living. But do you know, I tell people, I every day when I turn around, I look on my back here, and I say, "Well, it still got some skin back there. I got there ain't no skin off my back." So I say, "Okay, I'm gonna let you have your moment. You are entitled to that. I'm going to walk away, and maybe I'll come back." And do you know, when people got a little bit of dementias going on, they don't. You could come back 20 minutes later, and they act like, "Where have you been?" They're happy to see me. So I tell you, I never say die. I try again. So if they're giving me a hard time, if they're conking out on me, I just wait a few minutes, go walk the dog, ask the good Lord to give me another little modicum of patience, and then I come back, and they just as sweet as they can be. So
I love
I think they appreciate me. I think if they don't, well, they one of these days it'll dawn on them that it's not so bad. I try not to get on the nerves.
Yeah, and I think that's an important thing that you said. You can always look at your back and realize you still have some skin on your back. And so,
That's
as
right.
opposed to getting bent out of shape about it, just go away and come back, because I can concur with that. You can go away not even 10 minutes, it can be 2 minutes later, and it's a whole different attitude. So, I love that perspective of it. And I think that for those who are caring for your loved ones and they are living with Alzheimer's or one of the other dementias, that's a great way to look at it. It's all about perspective and how you decide to look at the situation. And so take a look at your back, just like Etta May said. And if you still have the skin on your back, hey, it's all
Yeah.
good. It's all good. Now, with the rest of what is your caregiver survivor routine? I know you have to
Oh,
have one.
Survivor. Well, I like music. I love music. Was that the OJ sang that one? I love the music. And I remember when I met Aretha Franklin and she wrote that song, she said, Eddie, I want to meet somebody. Aretha could sing, and she was at the piano all the time. And she said, Eddie, I'm looking for a young man. And she said, I just want to meet a man who's going to treat me polite. Polite. I said, wait a minute, Aretha. Any man can be polite at first, but what you want, what you need. I told her this person is a man that's going to treat you with some respect. And I
All
spelled it for
right, no.
RESPECT. Find out what it mean to me. Sock it to me, sock it to me. And do you know, she sat down on that piano. She wrote that song. She never looked back. And the rest is history.
The rest
But
is
do
his.
you but I brought up Aretha because it's like you get a song, talk to me, respect, all those songs. And I just dance. I try to turn on music, whether I'm washing the dishes or cleaning the bathroom or vacuuming this floor, whatever I got to do. If it's some praise song that just reminds me of somebody like, CC Winans, somebody, Yolanda Adams, somebody just going to put my spirit in a place where it can't come down, and I can't be upset. if I'm listening to some, it could be anything, could be jazz, could be something. The young folks listen to Bruno Mars. He may make me want to like do something like that. I tell you, I just listen to whatever comes on, and then I'm in a good mood. And then sometimes they join in with me. We get a little thing going. So that's my thing. And then I just sometimes I just have to take a walk. If it's in the middle of the day and they're not doing nothing, I got a minute. I just walk up the street and back and smell the flowers, look for the hummingbirds, praise the Lord while I'm walking, and then I come back and I'm feeling 100%. So those are the things, what they call it, self-care. They say it.
Self-care.
Like, I got a whole dance. I say, sometimes you got to do it like this, do it like that. You got to pat yourself on the back. Do it like here, put it right here. Go on and show yourself a little care. Do it like this, do it like that. Eddie Mae, pat yourself on the back. You got to do some stuff for yourself every now and then. Not being selfish, because your job is your job. But some days you gotta say, okay. And then we have a lovely lady. She comes in my house. In this house, it's not my house. I'm just staying here with these folks. But and they haven't said anything yet. So as long as you don't say nothing, they're not gonna throw me out. But I stay here. She comes here and she helps out. So sometimes you gotta find somebody else who can do as good a job that you trust and spend that money. It's an investment. If you have to say, okay, you stay here for the next 3 hours and I'm going to go to the beach, but by myself, so I can really breathe and I can just have a moment of quiet and solitude, or go do some retail therapy. You go to Ross on Tuesdays, you get a senior discount. I was there yesterday. So you can really save some money by spending money on a Tuesday. Or you just go to nail salon. You know what I'd like? I don't do the Pilates. I don't do the Pilates, but I do the yoga. And you don't have to do too much, woo, 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 to get it. You could just be thinking about Jesus and doing this and doing all that and doing the downward dog. I'm not going to, there's a dog down there. You come back up with the dog, or you just posing. You just moving your body. And it's really good because it's like you're moving your muscles, but you ain't working too hard. And your mind is getting quiet at the same time. So that's my secret weapon. Sometimes just finding a little bit of quiet time.
Okay. And we all have to have it. As caregivers, I'm learning even more and trying to do a lot more of it myself. That self-care is very, very important. And listen, I want to ask you one final thing here. If you could give caregivers one piece of advice, what would you tell them?
Well, I would say, just believe. Don't ever stop believing. You got, hopefully you got you understand the creator is in charge of everything. So you got to give yourself a break and realize you can't control everything, but you can control your mind and your heart. And so I think what I do sometimes, because there's always going to be a day when you're caregiving. Maybe it might be your end or the person's end, but it's going to be over. So sometimes I would say, just think about what you might wish you did or didn't do, what you're going to feel good about when it's all said and done. So if you look back on the day and you're going to say, oh, I wish I had, given them more good food to eat, or I wish I had taken them to the because I always tell folks, it's like, you just take them when you can. Take them out. Like you don't know if grandma's going to be a party poop when you take out, or if she's literally going to poop at the party. I'm just saying, because stuff happens. Am I right? But don't be afraid. Yeah, that's right. You don't know, because stuff happens. You take them out, and they don't know. They don't know if you took them to Taj Mahal or TJ Maxx. But get them in the car, do all the things, take the trips, go on the road trips, take them out in the driveway and just go up and down the street to get some fresh air. Do all the things that get them dressed up for Easter and put a hat on them, even if you can't get to church. Do all the things that you're going to wish you had done. Do it. And if it works out, if something crazy goes on, then at least you tried, because crazy can happen right there in your house, in the kitchen. So I say, do all the things that you're not going to, so you don't have regrets. That's my advice to caregivers. Do your best. And then forget the rest. Up to the Lord, say, Lord, I tried. I tried. That's a song. Isn't that a song?
I don't know that one. I love it.
Maybe I'll record that.
And you
and
can
get the
write
lady.
that. Well, listen, Sandy, Sandy's daughter, my friend Sherilyn here, she said, I finished this journey without a lot of regrets. We had a
Oh
lot of
yes.
fun. Her mom recently passed away. And when I say she gave her everything she could, I mean everything. And so when you do that and you give all that you can give, there are no regrets when they pass away. I mean, she did it all, took her out to the beach, bought ice cream, all of it, you know. And so that is what it's all about. And then we have Tiffany. Hi, Tiffany. Thank you for being on. She says, thank you for the advice, Ms. Etta
Oh,
May.
you.
Thank you so much for it. And so we
Oh,
are going to, I want to ask you, I know I said that was the final question, but here's another one. Behind the laughter, behind the jokes, there's a woman showing up every single day as a daughter, a wife, and a caregiver. What would you want people to understand most about Karen?
oh, about her. Oh,
Yeah.
let me go. You want me to go see if I can find her? She's
Go
around
see
here
if you can
somewhere.
find, go see if you can
Well,
find them.
okay, hold on one second. But I'll tell you, I can find. Let me. I'm telling you, the thing about her is she understands like the value of laughing and you know, you can't plan everything. You know how Priscilla, you know, you might think some people are so serious about I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and I think the way it worked out, these ladies, they all came to the house. I was already here, but then if it wasn't for Karen, I wouldn't be here. Tell the truth. But they all came when the pandemonium, you know, everything was shutting down, and Miss Dorothy was by, you know, in Michigan by herself, and Rose was going back and forth from San Jose, living by herself with a little bit of help from her other daughter, Karen's sister. And then, you know, everything just happened to fall into place right when they shut down. The whole world shut down, and they just happened to be right here in the house. And Karen and her husband, they said, okay, let's make this happen. Everybody come in the house, and we're gonna be a family all together. So Karen, she tries to make it fun. She tries to, what does she do? Well, here, Karen, come in here. This is Priscilla. This is my friend from Tallahassee, Florida. Can you say hi? Hi. Hey, oh hey,
Hey,
Priscilla. How
how
you
you
doing?
doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am doing wonderful, doing wonderful.
It is so good to see you.
It is so good to see you as well. Thank you so much for coming on tonight. We appreciate you. You all listen. I'm going to give you just a little bit of a background. We're going to transition real quick. Y'all just met Miss Etta May, and she gave us some great information. And now we're going to transition over to Karen. So let me give you a little bit of a background for Karen. Karen Bankhead is a classically trained, seriously funny actress. She was born into an Air Force family and began her acting career on stage in theaters in Arizona, New York, Southern and Northern California. She grew up in San Jose, California, received a BA in psychology from UCLA. She has played a variety of delightful roles, including the wacky receptionist Taylor on the ABC series New Attitude, the ultra nerd Adrian on Boston Common, and as Denise Pendergrass, the feisty line producer on the debut season of Curb Your Enthusiasm. And so, listen, she has a wonderful array of things that she has done. And so I know some of you all are saying probably at this particular moment, yeah, that's where I remember her from. And so, yep, that is where you remember her from. And so what I want to do, Karen and her wonderful husband are full-time caregivers to their mothers and enjoy keeping them both happy and as healthy as possible as they deal with Alzheimer's dementia. Karen, I want to welcome you to this part of the conversation. I know this is going to, you know, as we said in the beginning, the topic for tonight's conversation is laughter in the living room, marriage, caregiving, and finding joy under one roof. And so you go from Etta Mae Humphreys, that's the comedic side, over into Karen, who is the daughter, the caregiver. And so that is the other side that we want to deal with tonight. And as I was sharing with you a little bit earlier before we came on, I don't think I have ever had a conversation or even met any family where there's a husband and wife who are simultaneously caring for both mothers. And I love the fact that you all decided to bring them under one roof. I know Miss Etta May just gave us a little bit of the history, but if you can take us back to the moment where you and your husband realized that both of your mothers would need care and how you all came to that that conclusion to just bring them together as one family under one roof.
Yeah, I appreciate the opportunity to share because I think it is kind of unique, but it wasn't I can't say we planned it or anything like that. But basically my mom, I think she was diagnosed. My mom has vascular dementia, which
Okay.
is a little different than Alzheimer's. So she was starting to have some symptoms and things. And my sister and I, we would, my sister would go and stay with her on the weekends, and we had caregivers that would come and help her out with doctor's appointments and stuff. And then I was basically, San Jose up north it's about a 1 hour flight, and it's about a 5 or 6 hour drive. So I was going back and forth. I'd go stay with her for a few weeks, and then I'd bring her back with me down here for a few weeks. And I was doing that while I met my husband and over the time that we got married. And she wasn't, she could still walk and everything, and she was talking, but her mind was a little fuzzy. She just needed help. So at one point my husband was like, I don't like you being gone away from me so long. It's like, you need to bring your mother here to stay with us. And I just love him for that, because he just said it, and it was because it's funny. I was thinking about, way back when I was dating other people, and the fact that I ended up with a man who really has a heart to understand that. And so I guess she was staying with us basically a little bit before 2020. And then his mom, he's an only child. So she was in Michigan. And, they always talk about the difference between sons and daughters when it comes to caregiving. So I think she was masking a lot. We didn't know the extent of her Alzheimer's. And I think she's very efficient, very bubbly, very energetic little lady. And she was just minding her own business. But I remember when the first time I met her, and I went in her refrigerator, and I was looking for something, and there was hardly any food in there, but there were dishes in there. And I thought, and I was like, I'm not from the Midwest, but I don't know people who keep their dishes in the refrigerator. So little things about her, I was like, I think, she's declining. And my husband's like, yeah. And he's from Flint. So the water crisis was happening, and he didn't like her being exposed to that. So just the grace of God, because we had brought her out here to visit with us a few times. And one time she wouldn't get on the plane. She wouldn't come. Another time she came, and then she just was like, I got to get out of here. I got to go. I got to go. And she was calling everybody. And so he took her back before she was stayed. And then right in February of 2020, he got her to come stay with us. He went and got her. And then the whole country shut down. So she was here, and my mom was here, and I called the mattress company. I said, we need 2 full-size beds. And they're like, yeah, come around the back, because they were supposed to be closed for COVID in California. Everything shut down in March.
Mhm.
And they delivered the beds, and I got some bed linen from Big Lots. And then it was like, okay, everybody just stay here. So we were all shut down together. And stay-at-home choir was born. And we really, as tragic and difficult as the pandemic was for a lot of people, we just had fun. We did cooking. I started playing the piano. That's why they started singing, because I wanted them to be busy, and they like singing. And so it's a blessing, because we weren't married that long. I think we got married, and we had only been married like 4 years or something. And
Okay.
yeah, so definitely a team, definitely helps, for us to work with both of them wherever they are. My mom has some issues that are different than my mother-in-law, but we've watched them kind of decline a little bit. But it's like every little thing that pops up, we're learning, and it's
Yeah.
almost
Yeah.
like, how it is. It's like you go, oh,
Yeah.
okay, that's how you handle that, that's how you deal with that.
And often that's how it is. And it is such a blessing, as you said, to have a husband, a partner who is very sympathetic and who, is like, yeah, because a lot of times I've seen rather, it doesn't always happen that way.
Mhm.
Sometimes the responsibility that comes along with it can scare people off. But to have a husband that is like, no, you need to bring your mom to live with us, especially one who is living with dementia, because it's a different type of road sometimes. And so that is definitely such a blessing. And if I may ask, how has caregiving impacted your marriage, if it has at all? I mean, has it made it stronger? How has it impacted your marriage, not being married that long and then having to move not one but have both your parents at the same time? How does that work for you all?
I think, our bond is strong. Just like this morning, my husband you talk about how does our day start. Some days I'll admit I'm like a little blurry eyed. I'm a little bit, being Martha instead of Mary. And I'm like, okay, come on, you guys, we got to do this, this, and that. I'm looking at the task. And he'll come in and like, hey, Rose, how you doing? And he's smiling and laughing and dancing. And he loves to put on music for his mom. And when I see him, it's regardless. We have a little what do you call it? Uh, the ring cameras, so I can see him sometimes, and it's like it just makes me fall in love with him. When I need help, he's always because used to be able to move my mom around by myself. So thank God, between the two of us, we can still, if the caregiver's not here, we can still keep her moving and mobile. We have a what you call a Sarah Steady a device that
Okay.
I highly recommend it if your person is still able to stand but can't be on a walker. They call it Sarah Steady, I think, and
Okay.
so we can move her. She doesn't have to be like with a Hoyer lift or something like that, or in a wheelchair all the time. But we get her up on that, and we get her
Mhm.
from room to room, or we get her stair lift to go down. But even like during the pandemic, we would do. I remember we would call it Club 3 a.m. So it's like everybody was home and we would just do silly stuff like go on YouTube and he'd be like, yo, I used to love this song when I was in high school. And like we just listen. So we have our quiet, private time when they're asleep or whatever. But then also just going out with them, knowing that we have the peace of mind of them being right here. You get to walk in the room. And, speaking of which, he's right here if you want to say hi. Um,
Yes.
he's talking about, hey, Ken, this is Ken. She's talking about how it is with us taking care of both of our moms. Oops, I have everything all set up. This is Ken. This is
Hi,
Priscilla.
Ken.
Hello.
You want to say
How are
hi?
you?
I'm okay. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. Such a pleasure to have you on.
Oh, thank
Yeah,
you. Thank you.
we've been talking about just that joint, being married and caring for both of your moms at the same time. I told her it's very unique, but I admire that so much. But I've never actually had a conversation or actually seen it before you two. And so I definitely applaud it greatly,
Mhm.
greatly applaud it.
Thank
So
you.
how is it for
Yeah.
you, Kara? For she was just telling me that you go in and I call her affectionately Aunt Rose. For those that don't know, this is actually Pastor Judy, my pastor's wife. They're great friends of mine. This is her aunt. And so I call her Aunt Rose, but just being able to go in and just enjoy. I saw you even on the video that I was going to play. I saw you back there on the drums. So you all have a real live. With how is that for
You know,
you?
it's it's a challenging time, but I got to thank God for my wife. She's just a blessing, and it's just great that we met each other at that point in our lives when we both knew we had to take care of our moms, and
Mm-hmm.
so it was it's God given that we got together. So that's all I can say. It was just a blessing, and it was meant to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I love
We
that.
met
I
at
absolutely. Go
we
ahead.
met at West Angeles Church of God in Christ, and
Oh,
I was doing this
really?
show. Yes, yes, I was Etta May was doing a show,
Yeah.
and he was sitting in the audience and he was laughing. I said a joke about Detroit, actually, where he's from, and he was laughing. And he was so cute to me. It was like immediately my heart literally said, "Lord, I want to know him." And
And I said, that lady got some cute legs.
little lady, yeah. And the rest is history. But
And the rest
yeah,
is
it was really
history.
it was very
Yeah.
divine. But I think, 'cause it's, how it's like, if I have one sister, he's an only child, and when you're oh, she used to attend West Angeles, yeah, and it was like, if we had, you know, if he was by himself as a single man managing his mom, I know he would do a great job. But it's stressful, and us having each other to kind of relax with, or we have our little date nights, or we just got back from a really nice vacation, we needed a break, and so it's like, um, just having the both of us and both of our moms and different situations, caring for both of them. I guess it's almost like, if you have twins or something, it's like it's double the work, but it's a lot of fun,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, and they respond differently to different things. Like my mom, she loves good music. So if I put on anything Motown, especially when I'm in the car, she
Mhm.
gets to clapping and really enjoying herself. And Rose, I just try to humor Rose, But the secret I found is this, and my daughter told me this: keep them happy, keep them laughing, and then the rest kind of falls in place.
Yeah, yeah. And the good
Yeah,
thing too, having that support there, if one of you is down, because one thing I've learned over these past 10 years that I've been caring for my mom is sometimes it's not, the everyday things, like the bathing and the feeding and all that stuff. A lot of times it is just watching them decline. For me,
Mhm.
that's been a major thing. And that's not something that you can always express to everybody, or that everybody understands, but you're right there together. And I think, even seeing that, especially, she was telling me you're an only child, so I can't even imagine if you were, just you single having to care for your mom, what that looks like. Because, having to
right.
watch that decline sometimes becomes more emotional and more heart wrenching than anything
Yeah,
else. And so to have a team that does it, and you all do it well, you do it extremely well. And I hear you both talking about the additional help that you have to come in. I know that that too is a big plus for you all, to be able to have additional help so that you can be able to spend that quality time, and do the things that you need to be able to care for yourselves individually, and then for your marriage as a whole.
Mhm.
right.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have to be intentional about, taking breaks, or, just um, having, we go listen to music ourselves, go swim. Like Ken is good. He's always exercising, going to the gym, and yeah, I think that's what's, like you said, it becomes a little tiresome, not tiresome, but that's the stressful part. Cause like I look at my mom, and she's talking less, she's sleeping a lot more. So whenever she is awake, I want to go in there and like, hey, how you doing? And she might talk a little bit, and then she'll go back to sleep, or we might go out in the car and she might open her eyes for a minute through the whole ride and smile a little bit. And so every time when I see her awake, even if I'm like, oh, this is my time to be doing some business or resting, or I gotta feel like I gotta go in there and sit next to her. So that kind of, as it's like a little bit of, um, like Ken is really good about his mom because she's still very healthy. So he's making sure that he's out taking her out for a walk in the park while she can,
Yeah, yeah,
So
Are they still in the space where they recognize who you are?
yeah,
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 absolutely.
yeah.
That's good. And I just asked that question. My mom, she's not. She doesn't
Yeah,
recognize me. And as it progresses, those are the different things. And so I think that it is important, that support that you have for each other. And I think just the duo of being able, especially to moms who are dealing with different forms of dementia, because
Hmm.
it's been what has it been, 5 years since they've
Since
both been.
they've been here for 6 years total,
6 years.
and yeah, and so it's fascinating to me because Dorothy, her Alzheimer's, like I say, she talks. If you met her, she'd say, "How are you?" And she's very proper. She's very chatty. She's like, "Oh, what are you doing?" But then it's like some of her habits, things she doesn't always understand. You could ask her a
Right.
question, that's Alzheimer's,
Yeah,
right?
she can't put her words together. And I think
Yeah,
that's the frustrating part for me because she's a former uh, teacher and principal, and she actually was won a Kennedy Center Award for her educational endeavors. And so when I see her in this condition, it's really difficult because she was always so articulate, smart. She ran two schools, and now she's in decline.
yeah.
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 It's just
Yeah.
hard. Yeah. And then with
Yeah.
my mom, she it's harder for us because to get her out of the house, it takes two people, and I don't, like I said, like Etta May said, do the work, take the effort and to get out the door. But it's a little different because Dorothy will be downstairs before you know it. But my mom, we have to move her, lift her, go down the stair, lift her into the car. But it's worth it. But
Yeah.
and also with the with the all with the dementia, her speech is gone. So with her, it's like she's trying to say things. Like Uncle Skip will call, and sometimes she'll try to say something, but she can't make the words anymore. And we worked with speech therapists and stuff like that, and that medication Aricept seemed to work a little bit, but it
Mhm.
also have more arthritis pain. So it's like, what's better? So yeah, and then it's kind of like, yeah, I want to hear my mom talk to me. I want to hear,
Understand her.
yeah, I want them to know who we are, and that's not there anymore.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And that's the one thing, even when, I mentioned earlier, because we find our different spaces and the different things that we can do to kind of, in for lack of better words, to keep our minds occupied, to keep you from really focusing on what is. And the reality is, after the comedy, after you've made everybody laugh, after you done all of that, when you get done with that, you're still a daughter. You're still a daughter who, is caring for her mom. I tell people I'm a daughter first. Before I'm a caregiver, I'm a daughter. And so, with that, there are some of those moments, like you said, I mean, when she can't form the words. And so what I've learned to do, because my mom is in that state where she can still talk, but it's not where it makes sense. And so I do sometimes what I call my conversations with my favorite girl, and it's just I have no idea what she's saying, but whatever she's saying, I'm just like, really, yeah, girl, and that's her form of talking. And I continue to do that, and she will go on and on. Doesn't really make sense, but what I have learned to do, and what I often tell other people to do, is to just, what you have remaining, because you're going to lose a lot along the way with this. That's just the reality of it. And so what you have to do is you have to learn how to strengthen those parts that remain. Okay, she may not be able to form her words. She may not be able to talk to me where I can fully understand it. But what else can she do that
Yeah.
I can still strengthen, right? We still sit here and laugh. She
Yeah.
doesn't always know what she's laughing at, and but I still get a giggle here and there. And so you learn how to accept and to strengthen, because if you don't, you'll find yourself in a place of it will depress you if you allow it to. And so, even with that, and you shared a little bit just how the humor became a part of your journey. I think that the Bible says laughter is like good medicine. It's medicine for the soul. And so, when you think about that, there are more things that I think we just have to find to laugh at in this particular season.
exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Particularly with what's going on in the world too.
Yeah.
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 Uh-huh.
Yeah, when you mix all of that, and I know the news, I don't watch it as much anymore. because it's different. My word, I think, for the year has been weird. Things are just weird. People are weird. So that's the best word that I can use for it right now. But when you couple all of that, and so that too makes a difference when you're a couple that's doing this thing together. And I'm gonna always applaud that. And I know that becomes strength and encouragement to even other people who are in this space right now. Like you said, it is about intentionality as well. Being able to, yes, you have the busy life of caring for not one, but two moms. At one point I had my mom and my grandmother, and it
Yeah, I
was
remember.
myself and Caitlin, and so um, yeah, I think it's great to have you, your husband, but even with that, just being able to find that space where you
Hmm.
can, woosah
Yeah.
when you need to, take that
Yeah.
break when you need to, and just have each other.
Exactly. And I'm grateful. Like, my sister, she'll come and give us respite, and our caregiver, we've been just, God is so good. We have a beautiful lady who has so much, and she just lost her mother, like kind of
Oh, wow.
suddenly. Her mother was 89, and she still has a heart to just be here for both the ladies. She's really good with both of them. And then, I always say, it's like, what's the alternative? Because a lot of people, not everybody's able to keep, like, keep your mom in your house with you. Some people don't want to. Some people, they
Right.
have to work, or they just don't have the thing,
Yeah.
the heart and the mind and the energy to sacrifice.
Yeah.
And so, I always say, well, what's the alternative for us? It's like, if we weren't doing this. And it just really does feel like a blessing, and it hasn't gotten easier, but I just can't see it any other way, because they're both doing as well as they could. They're doing well. And to be able, to wake up in the morning and be the first one to look at your mom, and know that they're okay, and know
Yeah.
that they're getting the best treatment because you're doing your best. That's really priceless. And it just feels blessed, like a blessing every day. And this guy, he just steps up to the plate. I couldn't ask for a better. It just makes me love him more, because he could be a different. He could be, there's some guys who are just like, that's your job, but he doesn't.
Yeah.
He's like, do you need some help? And even if I try to do stuff with my mom and I don't, call him and say, hey, I need to scoot her up in the bed or whatever. He's like, why didn't you call me? And so I'm getting better at that, because
Yeah.
I'm used to doing stuff.
Yeah, she's pretty independent.
I try.
And
Yeah.
yeah.
But
Yeah. I'm glad you have somebody that can help you do that. So let them do it. Let them do it, especially,
yeah.
Yeah.
because I've hurt myself trying to
Uh,
do it. So if you have help, let them do it. I do want to ask you this, Ken,
Uh-huh.
just for the men out there, husbands or just men in general who find themselves in a caregiving space, whether it is their mother, their wives, because there are a lot of men out there, and sometimes they don't always step up to the plate, or they're afraid to. What advice would you give to a husband who, even if it's just a mother-in-law or wife, what advice would you give to the men out there who are in this particular space right now, who feel like this is just too much for me?
Um, in my particular case, besides the humor and trying to keep her laughing with jokes and keep her smiling, the music and the dance is what my mother really likes. So, like earlier today, I made her stand up and we danced to Al Jarreau. I put on a Al Jarreau concert, and for some reason, she was fascinated by Al Jarreau, because Al Jarreau would use to make those musical sounds with his mouth. So I'm always looking for something really new, something she's never seen, and it brings a smile to her face. But overall, my mom is just, I'm watching that decline, and it's hard to get away from it. But at the same time, uh, I just think about the times that she took care of me, and I got to be there for her. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah. And that's the same advice, whether you're male, female, that's the thing. I think we have to always keep in the forefront of our minds the fact that the sacrifices that we are now having to make, these sacrifices, these same sacrifices, are sacrifices that our moms in this case made for us. That is the
Right.
thing that I always keep in my mind. Especially, I was sharing with someone yesterday, especially when you have children, then you start to really understand the sacrifices that parents make. And so, for me, that's my biggest thing. Some of the sacrifices I do know about, but being a parent has helped me to learn and to understand that there's probably a whole lot of things that I'll never, ever, ever know. But she did it. When I think about the fact that, and I'm not saying it's easy by far, but when I think about the fact that there's some things that I can no longer do. I haven't been able to do. For me, something as simple as taking a Sunday afternoon nap. I used to love taking Sunday afternoon naps, and now I
Right.
hardly ever get to do it because if I don't have coverage, there's nobody here. Every now and again, just this past week, I slipped off. I fell asleep because I was tired. And thank God she just got up and walked and she just came and sat down next to me. But just those simple things that you find yourself, sometimes you may want to do them, but you can't. And it
Yeah.
is a sacrifice. And on so many levels, it's a huge sacrifice. But I do keep it in the forefront of my mind that she did it for me. And so,
Mhm.
how much more? I'm in the process of writing a book entitled Love in Reverse because that's
Mm.
exactly what it is. Being able to love them. They did it for us, and now, we're repaying it. We're back on that in that same place. Let me ask this, either one of you, what would you say to a couple who is considering stepping into caregiving together? What advice would you give to that couple?
I
Uh, well, it all depends on if they're one of the parties is working or not. I chose to not go back to work, uh, primarily because I wanted to be here to help Karen more so than anything. I'm still, because I'm kind of semi-retired in that regard. Uh, but I guess the biggest thing is love on each other, have keep a God focus, and just work together. That's the thing I would say. Just got to be very loving and patient.
yeah,
Patience is a big thing too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very good at saying, I got this. He's like, you go get some rest, or sometimes, like you say, just taking a nap or being able to run to the store. Sometimes I just go and do the drugstore by myself
Or
in my
take a
car.
walk.
Yeah, walking. I'm big on walking, and I think also educate. Like I'm always on Instagram or whatever, all these people, these nurses, hospice nurses, all these specialists. And sometimes I try to tell Ken, it's like he'll say, Dorothy, why do you, blah, blah, because she'll do certain things and it's usually funny and it's nothing harmful, but it's like he'll be like, why would you do that? Leave, like spill water and just play with it or something. And I'm like, remember, she doesn't know any better. So
Yeah.
because sometimes he still sees her as the woman that raised him and this smart lady. And then if she does something that's really childlike or just a little, and for my mom, it's like she can stand but she doesn't always make an effort. And he's like, come on Rose, come on. And I'm like, she's doing her best. And so, but he's very patient. And the little thing, and like I say, there is a different boys, I guess, men, when they're taking care of their mom, they, we got all the lists and everything and we write everything down, and men show up at the doctor like, okay, what do I do? And so I'm always going with him when we go to his mom's appointments, because I'm like, no, she takes this and she takes this and she's doing this.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh,
Yeah.
she's doing great. And I'm like, well, but the thing that I've also learned is that, like, I saw somebody talking about all the stuff that you wish you could be doing, like other things like working or whatever. But for me, it's like I wouldn't have it any other way. There's this is where we are. This is what they need. And there's really nothing, I can't think of, even just having more free time or whatever. It's like, that'll come, or else we make the best of it, and there's really nothing more valuable or more God honoring, I think,
Yeah.
and more important, than these are our mothers. And if we don't do it, who's going to do it?
Yeah.
And it's not, it's a sacrifice, but it's just a precious thing
Yeah.
that when we look at them and realize, okay, we're doing what we can, and you know that with your mom, and then having your daughter, and
Yeah.
knowing that you have a lot of things going on.
And from a male perspective, I would have to say one's background plays into it. So, for instance, I had to get custody of my two daughters when they were very young, and I moved them to California, and they lived with me. They subsequently, one of them moved back to Michigan. My youngest daughter stayed with me. Then I had my grandson living with me, and then Karen so I had my grandson. So I've had my daughter's grandson, and now my mom. So I've been kind of a caregiver for 20 plus years.
Yeah.
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 And
And I want to say this. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
I want to say this just for those, because and totally understand completely for those who can't, keep your moms at home, because everybody can't. My friend Cheryl Ann, I'm not sure if she's still on here, but even for her mom was in a facility, but she was still her caregiver. She showed up there every single day and did what she had to do to make sure that her mom was good. And so, if you're listening, I don't want, and not that they were insinuating this in any way, but I want to make sure that we're clear that, whether they're in the house with you or not, you still, you can care for them the same manner. They may not live with you, and so you may have that extra time, or not, because like I said, even with Cheryl Ann, it was still that level of, you know, watching the camera sometimes, making sure she's okay, but just being there as her caregiver to make sure. And so, whichever way you have to do it, I do feel the same way, Karen. It is an honor. I consider it one of the highest honors that God has given me, to be able to care for my mom in this time of her life, to be able to give
Yes.
back to her, the love, and the Bible makes us responsible, in that as well. There's a scripture that tells us to take care of the ones who once took care of us. And so I think that it's just very special, especially, and I'm gonna keep saying that because I really do. It's special that you all get to do that together. You get to grow together. You get to, in essence, what I'm seeing and hearing is you kind of balance each other as well in this caregiving. You're able to help sharpen each other. Able to help strengthen each other. And, even as you continue on this journey, that's important. And so, for those out there that are doing it, if you have a spouse who, you're considering it, I think these are some of the greatest examples that they are. I've put Karen's information out there as well. I do want you all to go and follow her YouTube, Instagram, TikTok at Etta May TV, on Facebook, Karen Bankhead Hits, and it's Etta May Mumfries. Go follow her. Follow her on all of her social media platforms, and get some of that humor in your life all the time. And you'll be able to see her and Ken as well, and the ladies, and they're doing their thing. They have their own band. And so, if you're in the California area and you need you a good live band, I think you should just give her a call.
Come on over.
And you need a live band for one of your events. You have a whole team here. You have the singers, all of them, right here in one. What part of California are you in? I know you said that you attended West Angeles. Are you all because you all are where now, Karen? Which part
We're
of
in
California?
Pasadena. We're in
Pasadena.
Pasadena, which is about 10, yeah,
Just
about 10 minutes north of downtown LA.
Okay.
And
Okay. So
yeah, so the lady, the little old lady of Pasadena, that's Etta Mae, but I go everywhere, doing shows and stuff, and
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
we don't always go to West Angeles, but we, sometimes we do bedside Baptist because it's just not always easy to get the ladies out of the house. And
Okay.
my mom, sometimes she's in, with her eyes closed, like looking. I always say, people like, "Is she okay?" And
Yeah.
she's listening, and then Dorothy, we have a timer. It's like after about 45 minutes, she's looking for the door. So we have to like put her
Yeah.
in business, ready to
Yeah.
go.
yeah,
And she will
Tiffany
walk
said
out
it.
if we don't
yeah.
catch her.
Tiffany says she's in the Victorville area. Not sure how the
Right.
distance of that, but she's in that part of California. And so, you know, you all are in the
Come on
same
by.
area,
We're
same
ready for you.
exact area. So see, she has a
Yeah.
Yeah.
tambourine and everything, and listen, live band. And for those of you that are out of state, fly them in. I'm sure the choir will come on out and perform for you.
Yeah.
I tell her, we have to get on the Life Changer so we can see Pastor Judy. And I have a fan from every church. Etta Mae collects her fans, her church. She got a fan from every church in the neighborhood.
Okay.
Somehow or other, she managed to take them home with her. So I need a Life Changers.
Yeah, we got to get you 2 life changes to it. Get you your fan. Listen, I want to ask you all this. As caregivers, what do you think caregivers need to hear right now, especially if they're feeling exhausted, if they're tired? What is it that they need to hear?
I'll let you handle that.
I think if they're tired, I think they owe it to yourself to take a real break. Because I've been awful at that, and I think you're not doing anybody any favors. When I get that really bad fuzzy brain, weak, too much caffeine, or not eating enough, or not eating right, it's like it's dangerous, because I can forget what I did, or be too weak to move somebody, or really, just in a bad mood and not feeling good. So I think whatever you have to do to get a good night's sleep, if you have to have the caregiver come and you just go back to sleep for a few hours, or turn on you really have to take care of yourself, because if like they say on the plane, put the mask on your face first and then take care of your person. So you owe it to yourself to care for yourself. And if you need a real break, I know some of the places they have a respite program, or if if you like you say, if you really know that your person would be under better care in a facility, that's not unloving, because those people, there's some great care centers and great nurses. I've met so many nice people.
Yeah, I was going to say senior centers are actually probably a good place to get some good advice too.
Yeah, but
We're fortunate that Pasadena has a really good Pasadena Senior Center, and they have a lot of good programs. So that's something to consider.
get some help and breathe.
Yeah,
Like Anna Mae was
yeah,
saying, she does yoga. I literally, like every time I lay my head down and really make myself just clear my brain, even if it's just for 20 minutes or an hour, you have to be really gentle with yourself.
It's been prayed up.
Pray it up.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
And I think
I'm going
that's
to get going because Dorothy's watching the Knicks and the 76ers, so I got to get back down here.
She likes sports too.
Anyway, nice
Thank
to
you
meet
so
you,
much
Priscilla.
for joining us. I appreciate you. And we're going to get ready to get off in just a moment, but I want to speak to that as well. I think that is important in learning that we're not going to be, if we don't take care of ourselves, we're not going to be any good to really care for the ones that we are caring for. I've had to learn that on some levels the hard way, but I've learned it, and I'm learning it daily, that you got to take care of you. I think that laughter, find a reason. You can look around you, shoot, cut on the news. You don't even have to watch a full segment. Just cut your TV on and you'll find a reason to, you know, I'm just gonna leave it like that. Find a reason to
Mm.
laugh. Sometimes you do have to find a reason to laugh, and laughter is good medicine. Sometimes I've found on Facebook now, Tino, the Yorkie. Tino is now my favorite Facebook reel. I watch Tino almost every night. He gives me the laughter that I need because I've never ever seen a puppy that wild. And so I laugh at him, but you find reasons, you find a way. Good day, bad day, Tino will give it to you. Whatever it is, you have to find. And then, even as you have done, Karen, just being a comedian, being someone who is full of laughter anyway, being able to incorporate that into your caregiving journey, I think that is very special. Yep. Yep. She says I
Yeah,
live Tino. I love Tino.
I
Yeah.
love
Yeah. Tino is, I'm telling
that.
you, Tino has become, I don't, well, I do like puppies. I've learned to like them more, but Tino has me over here like, man, I want a Yorkie. I don't know if I can keep up with them,
Yeah,
but yeah.
yeah.
He's busy.
My
Oh, he's
brother,
a busy one. He is
my
busy.
brother-in-law. Yep, everybody loves to,
All
and
right.
we have a little. That's one thing during the pandemic, because I had a dog and she passed away, and then where is she? Let me see. Hold on. Come here, Jackie.
Yeah,
Come
Tino is
here.
my
Oh, look.
friend, Tiffany. I almost
He's
every
my
day I have to
little.
pull him up and see.
Yes, but that's a whole, that's another thing that is very therapeutic. It gives you a reason to take a walk. My mom, this dog is such a blessing. She loves my mom. She'll get in the bed with her. My mom, she can't pet her. My mom can't pet her like that. Dorothy loves her. Come here. She's been in a few of our videos. Say hi, Jackie Brown.
Oh,
And Ken loves Ken. She will not
oh,
look. She can't for him to leave her, but
yeah.
he's her papa. But that, like something like that, or I don't know. I don't have cats anymore, but kittens sometimes can be, if you have the time, and then you have a who's too wild and
Yeah.
crazy. But they're very for if you get a gentle small dog that can sit with the ladies. Dorothy likes her too. They both keep their eye on this one. She's a good one. She's
Yeah,
sweet.
my grandmother was into the kittens, and so I never really I've never been into kittens, but and I've never really been into puppies. I like goldfish, but
Ah,
Tino, Tiffany said she wouldn't get one. Yeah, Tino would. I wouldn't do Tino right now because I don't believe I could care for my mom and Tino at the same time. Because Tino, I think Tino needs he needs therapy.
he needs intervention. But he keeps you laughing, right? And as long as he doesn't
Exactly,
bite, that's the thing.
exactly. And I
As long as
think
he's not biting.
that is the big thing is to be able to keep that laughter in your living room, keep that laughter in your home, so that as you're walking this journey, because you're going to need, as it continues, you're going to need those moments where you can just sit back and really laugh, because life, between life, your own life, and then caregiving and having somebody else's life in your hands as well, that can be a lot at times. And so thank you, I want to say that thank you for the strength that you have shown, the laughter that Etta May has given us. And if you could leave these caregivers, those that are listening, if you can leave them with one final word, something to hold on to, what would that be?
Oh my goodness. I would say bless you. Stay close to God, because you don't know what could come your way, even with yourself. When I was on the plane going for our little vacation over in Hawaii, I was like had a bit of a medical emergency, and I did not see that coming. I was like, oh my God, is this my time? I was ready. I thought I was going to pass out and leave this earth. And I had been worried about every other thing. Is the dog going to be okay? Is my mom going to be okay? Is there going to be a war breaking out? Is it going to rain the whole time? Just everything I could have been worried about. And I never thought about me. And it's like, okay, but you can't cover everything, but God can. So
Yeah.
I would say just really daily put your trust in God. Tell him your worries, tell him your concerns, ask for him to give you the strength, the wisdom, the love, just a greater degree of patience, some encouragement. Send the right people. There's angels everywhere. You're always how you run into somebody in the parking lot who tells you something you needed to hear. So I would just say lean on the Lord, and know that he's got your back.
That's it. That is exactly, um, could say that better. And so there are moments that will make you laugh, moments that will stretch you beyond what you thought you could handle. But through it all, there's love, there's purpose, and yes, you can still have joy. Thank you so much, Karen, for this conversation, for being on here with me. Thank you, Tiffany. She says, peace and blessings, ladies. And before we get off of here, I do want to just remind the audience as well, just a few things. I want you to remember that I do have an album that's out now. It is the Hey Caregiver, the album volume 1. You can go and listen to that on all digital platforms. It is out on Spotify, YouTube. It's out there, Pandora, all of them. You can go out there and take a listen to it. And it was written just for caregivers, to give you something. My goal, my aim, my mission is to help strengthen caregivers, to inspire caregivers to keep going, keep loving, keep pushing, and keep caring. And then you can also pick up a copy of my book. I do have the Hey Caregiver devotional and prayer journal that is available. You can find that on my website at www.priscillajjohnlouis. You can go out there. There's also some other merchandise out there as well that you can also pick up. And for those of you that are in the Tallahassee, Leon County area, I want to remind you, it's out on the My Favorite Girl page as well as on the website. But Tallahassee Memorial Memory Disorder Clinic, they will have their educational class series on Tuesday, May 19th from 4 to 5:30 at the East Side Branch Library at 1583 Pedrick Road here in Tallahassee, Florida. And so go and join them. Megan Coachman, she is the one who will be leading this, and it is absolutely free. You can register. The QR code is there. And again, I will share it on the website. And then we want to remind you of the Alzheimer's Project, their 41st annual Alzheimer's Disease and Education and Training Conference. That's going to be on June 20th, 2026 from 9 to 4 at Florida State University. And so that information as well will be out on the website. Please, if you're in this area, these are resources. They're absolutely free. We talk about educating yourself and making sure that you know what the signs, the symptoms, what they look like. These are great opportunities. It's also a great opportunity to network with others who are also on this same journey. Also, the experts who can give you the information that is needed. And definitely, I want to ask you again to go follow Etta Mae Mumfries. You can visit the website at www.ettamamumfries.com. Please go subscribe to the YouTube channel, Instagram, and TikTok at Etta Mae TV. And then follow her on Facebook at Karen Bankhead Hits and at It's Etta Mae Mumfries. Please go out there and do that. And as always, we want to again thank you for tuning in on tonight. If this episode blessed you, encouraged you, or made you feel just a little less alone, I ask that you share it with someone else who also needs this information. And don't forget to subscribe as well to the My Favorite Girl Caregivers Corner podcast on your favorite platform. And make sure that you don't miss an episode of the podcast. Until next time, as we always say, keep going, keep pushing, keep loving, and by all means, keep caring. Good night, everyone. Thank you so much.